Hi, I'm really excited to introduce you to Fred Caesar. Fred, you are an amazing person.
Oh, thank you.
I got to talk to Fred before we even started today, and boy, you know a lot. So let's talk about what you are doing in Saxonburg. You are the museum curator for the Friends of the Saxonburg Museum, in obviously the Saxonburg Museum, right?
Correct.
But the Friends of the Saxonburg Museum is the nonprofit organization that does great work supporting what's happening at the Saxonburg Museum.
That's correct, right.
Specifically, like the John Roebling Wire Workshop, which we're going to talk about here in detail. But I want to ask you a question. How long have you lived in Saxonburg?
Since 2013.
2013. Have you been involved in this organization since about that time?
Well, I got involved with the museum in 2015. There was a mayor, Pam Bauman, who passed away. She was the mayor, and she knew everybody in town, and I was new to town in 2014. And she said, I was walking down the street, and one day there was a voice behind me that said, "You're new." And I said, "Who are you?" And she said, I said, I'm new to this area. And she said, "Oh, I'm the mayor. Come into my shop." She had a shop on Main Street. So we sat there, and my last job was in Washington, D.C. She wanted to know if I had visited the museums in D.C. And I said, "Oh, yeah, all the time."
Right.
And she said, "Well, we have a museum." And I said, "No, I didn't know that." I said, "I probably driven past it." And she said, "You probably did."
Aw.
And she said, "Well, we got to get you involved with it." And so in 2015, they asked me if I wanted to be a curator for about 5 years. I'm now going on 9.
Well, you're definitely a keeper, and we're so glad that you're here in Butler County. But what a special place Saxonburg is. And when I did not know that much about John Roebling and what his invention was, but what an invention it was that's still withstanding time today in 2024. And we're talking, he started this type of work, which we're going to talk about like in the 1830s, right?
Right, that's correct.
So here he is, John Roebling, back in 1830s, and he is known for his wiring.
That's correct. Iron wire rope.
Could you give us a little bit of background about him?
Well, he grew up in Mulhausen, Prussia at the time, now Germany, and he and his brother Carl were immigrated to the United States in 1831.
Okay. Purchased
land for about $1.50 an acre in October of 1831, and that's how Saxonburg got developed. He laid out the town. We're laid out exactly as he laid out and co-founded the town.
So it's a lot more than wiring.
Oh no, he was brilliant. He was
it sounds like it.
Always thinking creative, and so. But he originally didn't. He had an engineering degree, but he originally came here to do agricultural work and a town center. He wrote letters back to friends in Mulhausen, said, "You got to come to this country." First letter was 100 pages long, handwritten long.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, saying how great the United States is, how great it is, and that person came, by the way. And so, but then he eventually though. Needed a job, and he got a job with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that led him to doing work along the Allegheny Mountains. And so he was there doing surveying work one day.
Right.
And the canal boats used to go up and down the mountain. They were pulled with 9-inch hemp ropes.
Okay.
And sometimes the ropes would fray.
Right.
And then he was there one day when a canal boat, the rope frayed, it went careening down the mountain. And unfortunately, 2 men died. So he talked to the investors and said, "Does this happen often?" They said, "Men don't die, but the ropes fray." He said, "I got an idea. I know what we're going to do. I'm going to go back to Saxonburg. I'm going to order some iron wire. We're going to twist it. And I'm going to get you iron wire cable."
Right.
He got it, twisted it. It was hand twisted. Men walked. 8 to 16 men walked and twisted the cable for him. And then he took it back. And so his first use of cabling was not for a bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was used to pull the canal boats up and down the Allegheny Mountains.
There's so much to learn about this, but I want to definitely make sure that, he is known for the Smithfield Street Bridge in Pittsburgh.
That's correct.
And then he had this image of working on the Brooklyn Bridge. Sadly, he had an accident. He passed away.
That's correct.
But his son was able to make that come to life.
That's correct.
And I mean, there's actually a replica of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, we have a replica in the Roebling Park, the Saxonburg Museum, the Wire Rope Workshop, and the replica of the bridge are all in Roebling Park on Rebecca Street in Saxonburg.
Okay. But now the workshop needs some help.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, it was originally built, we think about 1838. 1968. It was
Okay.
his office. He had a workbench on one side, maybe a drafting table and all that. And it was built at the corner of where the park is now. And he left here in 1849 to go and bought land outside of Trenton, New Jersey. He needed a factory,
Sure.
and he moved away. But that building changed hands over the years. In 1968, it was donated to the borough of Saxonburg. They almost tore it down and
Oh,
were going
wow.
to sell the wood for souvenirs. And then they decided to
Want to
move
preserve
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they moved it, and where it is in the park right now, unfortunately, they did a stone foundation to kind of keep it kind of original.
Sure.
But the stones have been falling away since about
Okay.
2017. The building's tilting, the floor's sagging. So we're now raising
Let's
money.
raise some money,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah,
that's
and
why we wanted to have you on.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Your viewers, the people in Butler County, have been very kind to us. We're up to about $63,000.
Okay.
We're at 25% of the goal. It's the engineering studies are anywhere between $234,000 to $250,000 to save the building.
Okay.
Large percentage of that money is to shore it up and lift it so we can build a 3-foot concrete foundation with a concrete pad. It's mud under there. There's no concrete.
Okay.
So we're going to really give it a long-term solution.
And you're going to do that, Fred, without a doubt.
I-
And we're going to help you. So reach out to the Friends of the Saxonburg Museum. You can find them on Facebook. If you want a tour of the Saxonburg Museum, you need to call and schedule that. But I know when you learn more about this, you're going to want to help too. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. It was so great to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
And thank you. Thanks for watching this episode of the Butler Buzz. If you want to see more, just click on the playlist button up here. To keep up to date with all of Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, click on the subscribe button down here. Hey, I suggest you do both. See you next time.